Everyone. Um, I was having a chat with my therapist today and something interesting came up. Um, for some reason, I was feeling a bit low yesterday, and I'm not going to go into the details, but uh, this had to do with something that had happened in my past, and I felt really bittersweet about the whole experience of what had happened. And I was talking to her about how I feared that I might somehow go through this whole loop of feeling bad about what had happened in the past all over again and would again have to process through everything. And she said a couple of things that I felt were so useful. Firstly, she said that even if you even if you do feel bad and you do feel emotional and you have to go through a little bit of processing, you're not the same person as you were before. And we did a short exercise where she asked me to make a list of all the things that have happened since, and it not just happening externally, but also like the internal changes and shifts that have happened since the incident happened. And, we both discussed how I have changed so much and so much has happened that the sort of relationship I had with the incident at that point is no longer the sort of relationship I have with it now. And if it comes up again in the future, then I'll have a different relationship at that point. So in a way, it's not like processing the same thing because I'm a different person then and things have changed and I have grown and assimilated a lot of stuff. So that was an empowering thing to like understand that every time something comes up you feel like you're rehashing it, but it's not actually rehashing that you're doing. It's just that the person you have become at that point is making sense of it from her standpoint. So that was the first thing. The the second one, actually I'm blanking out on the second one. Okay, I'll let you know if it comes to mind. But I guess at the crux of everything was, oh yeah, I do remember the second point. It was this: there's a tendency for a lot of us to want to forget something if it brings like bittersweet memories. But the real juice is in being able to identify the baby and the bathwater and not throw out the baby with the bathwater. What I mean to say is that every incident has its positives to it. Like, for example, the incident that happened in the past, or the experience. I gained a lot from it. I learned a lot. I became a different person through going through all I had to go through at that point. And I'm sure you have experienced that also. Let's say you had a job sometime back that you aren't really pleased about and it wasn't a pleasant experience, or maybe it was pleasant but it also had its downsides. Instead of like blocking it out completely, you can actually choose to look at all the things that you learned, that that added to you as opposed to like detracted. And by seeing that, you can be like, oh, like those portions were amazing and I want to retain this. I want to remember and cherish the times that I did well, that were filled with joy, laughter, learning, skill building, and whatnot. Right? So that was the second point we covered, that even if what happened is something that is not exactly pleasant to remember, or it brings up bittersweet memories, it's still worth it to sort of pick the parts that were good and cherish them. I felt this conversation with her was pretty soothing, and also empowering because now I'm seeing all that happened in a whole new light. And also it clarified a lot of things to me, like what are my values, how do I want to build my life ahead, what made me make the decisions that I did at that point, because they weren't done in vacuum. There was a reason behind me choosing to do whatever I chose to do. And yeah, I think uh, if you ask me, I think everyone should work with a therapist. I'd highly, highly recommend them. And yeah, work through your issues and figure out the stuff that you can keep and cherish, and forget the parts that don't really add to you. I guess that was the crux of what we discussed today. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you in another video.